Hi there, Warren here. Welcome back to my channel. While my roaster has been off the air, I've been asking myself the old question. And one of the things that has cropped up to me is stopping a roast is harder than people make it sound. Stopping a coffee roast sounds simple. You wait for first crack, you give it a bit of time, then you stop. And that's what most advice says. But in practice, it's not that clear. So when I started roasting, which wasn't really that long ago, that's exactly what I tried to do. Follow the moment, follow the guidance, and assume the result would line up. And sometimes it did, but other times, something didn't quite make sense. The difficulty here is you're making decisions without really knowing what's actually driving the result. You're responding to what you can see and hear, but not necessarily what's really happening underneath. The difficulty isn't really about hearing something. It's about making a decision at the right point without having a perfect signal, because when you're in the middle of a roast, nothing is completely clear. You're watching the color, you're aware of the time, you're noticing the smell. Maybe you hear something, maybe you don't. And all of that is happening at once. There isn't one moment where everything lines up and says, stop now. It's more like you're deciding based on a combination of things, none of which are perfect on their own. The difficult part is that these decisions are happening in a section of the roast where small changes can have a surprisingly big effect. And that isn't always visible in the beans themselves. So that's what's changed for me. I stopped looking, for a single point and started thinking more in terms of range. A window rather than a moment. Instead of asking, is this the exact point? I'm asking, am I in the air, the right area to stop this? So when you think of time, think of it as a guide, not a rule. Not precise timing, but a general position in the roast. After enough repeats, you get a sense of where things tend to land. Not identical, but close enough to be useful. And when you're looking at visual progression, not exact color matching, just how the roast has moved. Has it developed steadily? Does it look like it's reached the stage you were aiming for? And then you've got, the behavior at the end. And this is harder to explain, but it becomes familiar. The smell changes slightly, the smoke becomes more noticeable, and the roast feels like it's entering a different phase. Not a clear signal, but a shift. So the decision becomes, do I stop now or let it run a bit further? And that's where it gets interesting. Because that choice, even by 20 or 30 seconds, can change the result quite a bit. The challenge is, you don't fully know if it was right until later, when you brew it. So every roast includes a little bit of uncertainty. You're making a call without complete information. What's helped me isn't trying to remove the uncertainty. It's getting more comfortable with it, accepting that there isn't a perfect signal, and focusing instead on staying consistent and making smaller adjustments and paying attention to outcomes over time. And even when you feel like you've made the right call, that doesn't always mean the results in the cup will match, which is something I'll go into on my next video. So stopping a roast isn't about finding the exact moment. It's about making a reasonable decision based on what you're seeing and building from there. One roast at a time.